This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight to unfolding news on our state's east coast. An emergency warning has been issued for a bushfire burning out of control to the west of St Helens. For the latest on this developing situation, we cross live to our reporter Jacqueline Robson at fire headquarters. Jacqueline, when did the situation deteriorate?
Well, Joe, this fire had been burning and was first reported on Tuesday. It was at an advice level for some days, but late this afternoon it escalated to a watch and act alert. Shortly after 4 p.m, a bushfire emergency warning was issued. The bushfire is burning at Terryvale Road to the west of St Helens. It's 4,050 hectares. The TFS warns of burning embers, smoke and ash, with an approaching main fire putting Terryvale Road at Goshen at high risk. Now, we've got some vision of the smoke plume from a safe distance. We understand some residents have been evacuating the area with their vehicles, packed with their belongings and in tears. It must be a horrifying experience for them, but that is the advice for the residents. If the path is clear, to go to a safer location to implement their fire plan and act. If your home is well prepared for high-risk fires and you can defend it, the TFS says it should provide shelter. And if you're not in the area, stay away. So, Joe, it's certainly the bushfire season is upon us, early as we expected.
Yeah, it certainly is, Jacqueline. Thank you very much for that report, and we'll keep you updated at home as news comes in. And Lloyds Dry Cleaners has been damaged in a fire believed to be started by hot clothing overnight. More than 30 firefighters fought the blaze, fearing it would also spread to a nearby furniture store.
The chaotic scene unfolded in Olveston CBD behind Raby Street just after 9 last night. Onlookers capturing the building well alight.
Do we know if anyone's in that business?
The blaze was believed to have started in the back room of Lloyds Dry Cleaners.
Some warm, hot clothing out of a dryer was placed into a bag, put into that room and built up heat and combusted spontaneously.
The owners of the shop next door happened to be dining with family nearby at the time.
And my grandfather said that the shop was on fire. I thought he was joking, so I kind of laughed it off. And then it was just like my heart was pounding. I didn't really know what to do.
Danielle's husband immediately dialed 000 and the Tasmanian Fire Service actioned its CBD fire response plan.
Crews were alerted, so we had Ulverston, Devonport and Forth Valley respond to that fire, which resulted in 30 firefighters being on the ground. Immediate action by those firefighters prevented that fire from spreading to adjoining buildings, being a furniture outlet and a clothing store, which could have been a major catastrophe.
The we're here within 10 minutes, so yeah, with their quick response, we've been pretty lucky and got away with, not too much damage compared to what could have happened.
Lloyds Dry Cleaners hopes to be back up and running by Monday, but 89 anticipates its doors will remain closed for at least a week as insurance assessments take place.
And I'm just glad that no one was hurt and it's only material things, and that we can support each other and rebuild.
Although the total cost of damage is still being investigated, the TFS says it's likely to be more than $100,000. Jessie Gilmore, Southern Cross News.
Older Tasmanians can expect some relief on their power bills thanks to unexpected windfalls from Aurora Energy. But it sparked the ire of the social services sector, questioning why all disadvantaged Tasmanians don't get a pre-Christmas bill boost.
Smack bang in the middle of spring, pay relief for older Tasmanians who struggled through winter, some even foregoing groceries to keep warm.
They stay in bed longer in the morning, anything that they think that they can do to try and minimise their power bills.
This one-off special bonus payment of $125 will be paid in coming months prior to Christmas.
The $10 million initiative is thanks to a $20 million windfall from Aurora Energy, alongside Hydro Tasmania's first profit since the energy crisis of $20 million.
We have a policy which is Tasmania first. We are implementing that policy and we're delivering for Tasmanians who've been doing it tough.
But with $40 million in profit and some hefty bonuses for the energy executives, social services are questioning why the initiative isn't being shared by all disadvantaged Tasmanians. Recent figures showing 10% of people in our state are struggling with the cost of living.
So a single parent with 2 children is living on about $35,000 per annum, and if they are not eligible and they are not considered deserving of this sort of rebate, we're really confused as to why.
Hydro's top boss scored a 16% pay rise on top of his $600,000 wage this financial year. Questions now being raised over if it's an appropriate spend of a taxpayer-owned business.
Hydro need to think about whether or not those increases are in line with community expectations, particularly when we know people are doing it really tough in Tasmania, when power bills are going up as much as they are.
The government says the pay packets of its GBEs are a matter for its boards. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
A coroner investigating the deaths of a Launceston husband and wife who died while riding their motorbikes together at Lilydale in 2015 has recommended Transport Tasmania improve its heavy vehicle licence tests. Gerald Davis was driving a truck laden with round bales of silage when 2 fell off into the path of Michael and Tracy Pell's motorbike. Coroner Rod Chandler today determined a collision with the bales could not be avoided, but he has called for suitable questions relating to load restraints be included in heavy vehicle licence tests, as he says drivers currently don't receive formal training or instruction on the topic. Mr Davis was fined $12,000 and lost his licence for 4 months following the incident. A new ferry is now in service, running between Triabunna and Maria Island. The larger vessel is providing 60% more capacity and regular services. The government maintains the growth in tourism at the World Heritage Site is sustainable.
The Osprey 5 pulls into Triabunna today in what's now a regular site for the East Coast town. The vessel used to ply the waters around Rottnest Island, but it has found a new home servicing Maria Island.
She was built 1994 and she's still in excellent order.
The boat has undergone a refurbishment, including the addition of a bow thruster to help manoeuvrability. The 31-metre vessel is also a lot bigger, with the capability of carrying 152 passengers, as opposed to the old boat's 90 passengers.
We had quite a few days there where it was full or close to full, and the benefit of this boat is that there's a lot more freight capacity as well.
The Osprey 5 also features a crane to help with the unloading of up to 5 tonnes of cargo.
And we can load the luggage into the bins at Triabunna, crane them onto the boat, crane them off the boat, and there's not carting all the luggage on and off by the crew.
Operators say visitor interest in the World Heritage destination is increasing with the new services.
Because I heard the boat only went once a day, and I didn't quite know how you stay over here, so just thought it would be quite difficult. You have to take everything with you. And
I've heard about it over the years, and I've got friends in Tassie, and I had a week off, and we've arranged to go over for 3 nights, so I'm really excited.
By the 2010, 11, 12, we were starting to see 14, 16, 18, and now we're pushing around the 24,000 visitors.
With the increase in access to the island, authorities are spending money on infrastructure upgrades. The government maintains growth in tourism here is sustainable.
We believe that visitation numbers are only going to increase as the experience improves over here. The state government has put in $1.8 million into upgrading the island's facilities.
The service is now running 7 days a week with up to 5 return journeys each day over summer. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
We return to our breaking news tonight to that emergency warning issued for a bushfire burning to the west of St Helens at Terryvale Road, Goshen. The fire service says residents in the area should evacuate to the north to the Tasman Highway side only if it's safe to do so. The bushfire is currently burning out of control. The fire service says says burning embers will threaten Terryvale Road before the main front, and smoke and ash will make it difficult to see and breathe. We'll keep you up to date on this unfolding situation, and you can find more details on the Fire Service website. The University of Tasmania's new multi-million-dollar student accommodation is paving a fresh way forward for Hobart's CBD. Southern Cross News has been taken inside the facility as further forecast development inches closer.
Cutting the ribbon on a new era for the University of Tasmania. The new student accommodation in the centre of Hobart, the start of a revitalised focus for the learning institution.
We're able to give them an experience that's much better than they had before. They can live and work in the centre of one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and that's really something that most universities can't offer.
The facility is catering to more than 400 students, each studio apartment costing $230 a week. Monty Boville moved from Launceston and says the new centre was an easy choice.
The course that I'm doing is actually moving into the city, so it's great to have so many things around in Hobart, near here. It's in the most amazing location.
The city-centric site is expected to be a drawcard for interstate and international students. It will soon be joined by the Hedberg Performance Centre, due for completion in 2019.
There's so many campuses already here, and I really think that these apartments are really an integral part to that transition.
Behind me is where the $400 million STEM development is expected to be built if it gets the backing from the Commonwealth. It's already been regarded as nationally significant by Infrastructure Australia as negotiations continue.
We're getting a very good hearing. They keep asking for more information and we keep showing them our business planning and things like that. We are hopeful that we might have something positive to say sometime in the next few months.
Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The Australian share market has closed at its highest level since May this year as the improved potential for US tax cuts and a turnaround in iron ore futures lifted sentiment. The ASX 200 index has risen by 10.9 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 78.45 US cents and 66.41 euro cents.
Well, it's a football match with a massive difference and one that hasn't been done in the state for around a decade. Tomorrow, players from the Clarence Football Club will become temporary inmates at Risdon Prison as they take on the Ron Barwick Minimum Security Section's best.
It's normally their grudge match with Eastern Shore rivals Lauderdale that gives the Roos the most cause for concern, but they'll soon enter inside the walls of Risdon Prison for what could prove their toughest match of the year.
Could be. Might be some Lauderdale bikes in there too, I don't know.
There was a team meeting in there. The boys are really excited about the game, and I know the Clarence boys are really excited as well.
The Clarence Ruckman bringing about the initiative after recently beginning a new sports activities role with the Corrections Service. The nine-a-side match will be the first played inside the prison walls since the Sorell Football Club did something similar a decade ago.
I've just started this my 8th week at the prison now, so we're going to have a football match between Ron Barwick minimum security inmates. We'll play against the Clarence Football Club side.
I think we've got actually a few big names which concerns me a little bit. So Brady Jones is playing, Jackson O'Brien's playing. I think Sam Siggins is going to throw his boots on as well. So I'm sure the inmates will want to get back at Sam.
But Siggins says the Clarence boys have nothing to worry about, with the game designed to break up the monotony of life on the inside and boost the spirits of inmates.
That exercise does help them, obviously from a mental point of view and also physically point of view as well. So if they can use their energy in the right way by playing sport, it's a massive plus.
And they could potentially show the TSL stars a thing or two also.
Might teach me personally and also the rest of the Clarence boys to harden up a little bit.
The game kicks off tomorrow morning.
Another young Tasmanian footballer will realise her AFLW dream after being picked up in today's rookie draft. Launceston star Courtney Webb was taken at pick 17 by Carlton as the club's final rookie selection. The Blues taking to Twitter this afternoon to officially welcome the outside midfielder to the club. She's now the 6th Tasmanian on an AFLW list after fellow Launceston player Daria Bannister was picked up by the Western Bulldogs in Wednesday's draft. After a disappointing TSL season that saw them finish last on the league ladder, things are looking up for the Burnie Dockers, with the club securing former Gold Coast son Luke Russell as a playing assistant coach for the 2018 season. Russell played his junior football with the Dockers before being drafted to the Suns in 2011, playing 73 games for the side and kicking 29 goals. Well, boxing is set to make its long-awaited return to the northwest coast, thanks to one of Tasmania's best fighters, Luke Woods. In his first attempt at a professional promotion and with an action-packed card on offer, it's set to be a massive night.
Woods is no stranger to competing in the ring, but the November 11 fight night will be his first crack at pulling off a pro event as a promoter.
Matchmaking was probably the hardest bit, but now we've got a heap of contacts over throughout Australia. We've even got contacts in New Zealand now.
Working hard in the gym and equally as hard behind the scenes, the 2010 Commonwealth Games boxer says fight fans can expect big things on the night.
We've got a feature event, Jackson Woods. He's been to the Olympics, he's been to the Commonwealth Games, World Championships as an amateur. He's undefeated as a professional now, 2 fights, 2 wins by knockout.
But it's been 2 long years out of the ring for Woods' cousin, who's hoping to get his pro career back on track in Devonport.
This is first fight back in 2 years, so getting the cobwebs out. It's more just watching Luke. Luke fought on the Gill undercard and then had another one between then, so watching his success kind of drove me back into the gym.
Fellow Northwest Coast hardman Luke Emerton will make his professional debut on the night, with Team Woods predicting big things from the 21-year-old cruiserweight.
Feeling great. I'm training well. Weights come off quite easy. The boys at Team Woods have looked after me quite well.
Woods is hoping for similar support to last month's brawl at City Hall in Hobart to ensure the viability of future events in the north of the state.
Being up north, so if I can go just out their back door and be, 10 minutes away from a good quality show with world-class boxers on it.
The stage is set for a fierce game of one-day cricket at Blunston Arena tomorrow, with Western Australia taking on South Australia in the JLT One Day Cup final.
Over the last couple of years, South Australia and us have built up an awesome rivalry. We've had some seriously close games in all formats, so hopefully it'll be the same tomorrow, but hopefully the outcome will be better.
Been something that's eluded us over the last few years. Unfortunately, we've probably been a little bit ahead of our time. We're an extremely young team, but I think now is the right time to start, taking that next step and start winning.
The Warriors won their last one-day cup in 2015, but the Redbacks haven't tasted success since 2012. The match begins at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Tasmanian triathlete Jake Birtwistle has returned home following a stellar season, but the 22-year-old won't be putting up his feet for long as he prepares for the biggest race of his career.
He's back home for summer, but Jake Birtwistle is already eager for his 2018 season.
It's great to be back in Tassie. Obviously spent a lot of time away this year. I left on the 1st of January, so it was a long year indeed.
It's also been one of the Tasmanian triathletes' most successful. The 22-year-old claimed multiple world podiums, securing individual silver medals in both Canada and Hamburg.
Hamburg's probably my favourite event over the last couple of years as well. It was where I got my first World Series podium, and I was able to come back again this year and get the same colour medal. So hopefully next year I'll be able to change that silver for a gold.
But the biggest thing on his mind right now is the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast in April. Birtwistle qualified earlier this year, and while he's still preparing, he believes gold is within his reach.
At the test event earlier this year, I would have placed second if we took out the non-Commonwealth athletes. So definitely. I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 man race, and I think I'll definitely be one of them. So, looking forward to it.
Birtwistle will leave the state for a training camp in Europe early next year. But for now, he'll train in his hometown and at his old stomping ground, the Riverside Pool.
I think it opens up this weekend, so I'll no doubt be down there this weekend and for the next couple months while I'm here.
Monika Dadson, Southern Cross News.
Good evening. Hobart and Devonport 18 degrees today, Launceston 20 and Burnie 17. The top was 21 at St Helens and Friendly Beaches, with temperatures back towards average or slightly above. A few showers cleared the southeast this morning but continued over the west. 12 mils at Mount Reid, the highest fall. Far as temperatures go, Campania 19, Wynyard and Ouse 17, Low Head and Flinders Island 16, Grove 15, King Island and Strawn 14 degrees. So it was fine for the Flinders Island show today. Now there is a band of cloud to the east of Tasmania moving off, and another one to the west of Tasmania as well. Extensive cloud over Queensland, New South Wales and the Tasman Sea. Most of the mainland though was cloud free. Now that low level cloud stuck to the west coast for most of the day today. Tomorrow the high over the Bight extends a ridge over the southeast and over central areas as well. A trough persists over the coastal fringes of Western Australia, and a trough is also over eastern Queensland. The winds west to southwesterly at 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the lower east and south, swells up to 4 metres. Strong wind warning for lower eastern waters from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point. A light shower possible for Hobart tomorrow, 10 overnight, a top of 18 degrees, just 13 for Medina with a few showers in the air. Oatlands a light shower and 15 degrees. Launceston partly cloudy, 19 the top, 17 for Devonport, a light shower or two for Lyowini, 11 the high. Burnie a possible shower, 16 the top, 14 for Strawn and Marrawar with a few showers in the west, while for St Helens partly cloudy, it'd be fairly hazy too you'd think, 20 degrees, 19 for Swansea, 18 a possible light shower for Orford. UV as low as 4 under smoke over St Helens to a high 6 and 7 elsewhere. On Sunday, showers over the west and far south with a possible morning shower elsewhere. A shower or two on Monday, mainly over the west and far south. And on Tuesday, showers mainly over the east in the afternoon and evening. A possible storm tomorrow for Perth and Darwin, partly cloudy in Adelaide. A light shower possible for Melbourne for the Caulfield Cup, and cloudy for Canberra and Sydney, rain at times in Brisbane. And as you have a look at the current temperatures, Jo, you've got the latest on the East Coast fire situation.
Yes, we certainly do, Murph. A bushfire burning to the west of St Helens has just been downgraded from emergency to watch and act. Fire crews say they've been able to burn around properties to prevent impact and protect residents who have stayed. Significant fire activity is still being reported, and evacuated residents won't be able to return until at least the morning. And that's all from the news team. Good night.